George Bush is a war criminal, but it's very rare that anyone actually confronts him about that fact or confronts him about the fact that he started a preemptive war in Iraq that led to civilians dying, of course, and US soldiers dying. But Mike Preisner decided to take the opportunity when Bush was in Beverly Hills. This is a wonderful video. Let's take a look.
Mr. Bush, when are you going to apologize for the million Iraqis that are dead because you lied? You lied about weapons of mass destruction. You lied about connections to 9/11. You lied about Iraq being a threat. You sent me to Iraq. You sent me to Iraq in 2003. My friends are dead. Joshua Castile. You killed people. You lied. You lied about WMD. A million Iraqis are dead because you lied. My friends are dead because you lied. You need to apologize. Apologize.
So again, that was Mike Preisner. He is an Iraq War veteran.
Blair was responding to severe criticism of him in the Chilcot report, which was released earlier on Wednesday. He says he believes the world is a better place without Saddam Hussein, the Iraqi leader deposed by the coalition, but his explanations and apologies failed to satisfy families of some of the 179 British soldiers who died in Iraq.
I apologize for the fact that the intelligence we received was wrong. I can also apologize, by the way, for some of the mistakes in planning. Of course, you can't say that those of us who removed Saddam in 2003 bear no responsibility for the situation in 2015.
Dumuzi, my love, I have a vision. Subdue the rebellious country, let the nation multiply, I will direct the country rightly. Dumuzi, love of my life, I had a vision of a great nation, choosing Dumuzi as god of its country. For I have made Dumuzi's name exalted. I gave him status.
These are words spoken by Princess Inanna. On the eve of her wedding, she, the granddaughter of Enlil, and her fiancé Dumuzi, was the last son of Enki. In the annals of ancient Sumerian history lies a tale of ambition, manipulation, and divine intrigue, centering around the goddess Inanna, also known as Ishtar, and her beloved Tammuz, or Dumuzi. According to records inscribed on ancient Sumerian tablets, their story intertwines with the origins of Christianity in a narrative fraught with betrayal and ambition. Inanna, granddaughter of the powerful Enlil, and Tammuz, the last son of Enki, belonged to two warring clans, the Enkites and the Enlilites. Their union held the promise of peace between these rival factions, offering a glimmer of hope for harmony amidst conflict. Yet, fate intervened cruelly on the eve of their wedding, when Tammuz met an untimely death in a sheep pen, shattering Inanna's dreams of queenship over the African continent. Despite her grief, Inanna was not one to be deterred by fate's cruel hand. Known for her unwavering determination and fiery ambition, she set her sights on a new path to power. Drawing on her cunning and resourcefulness, Inanna saw an opportunity in the clever invention of system called religion by the Enlil and the Enki, a means to control humans and their territories. Inanna's words to Tammuz before his death take on new significance in light of her subsequent actions. She confided in him, saying, "I have a vision of a great nation choosing Dumuzi as god of its country. For I have made Dumuzi's name exalted, I gave him status." With Tammuz's accidental demise thwarting her plans for queenship, Inanna resolved to elevate him to divine status instead. Driven by her insatiable thirst for power and her desire to forge her own domain, Inanna seized upon the opportunity presented by the invention of religion. While Enlil and Enki devised ways to control humanity through religious belief, Inanna saw it as a chance to manipulate and subvert their intentions for her own gain. Her decision to hijack Christianity, replacing the original Jesus Christ with her beloved Tammuz, was a calculated move born out of both ambition and revenge. By positioning Tammuz as the son of God, Inanna sought to cement her own legacy and assert her dominance over humanity's spiritual beliefs. This was not the first time Inanna had clashed with the gods Enlil and Enki. Ancient records attest to her audacity and defiance in the face of their authority, demonstrating her willingness to challenge their power and influence. In her quest for supremacy, she spared no effort in subverting their plans and seizing control for herself. As we delve deeper into the ancient Sumerian tablets, the truth of Inanna's machinations becomes clearer. Her ambition knew no bounds, and her cunning knew no equal. In hijacking Christianity and replacing Jesus Christ with Tammuz, she sought to rewrite history and reshape the destiny of humanity in her own image. Is there any evidence such a person existed and achieved such glorious feats, you ask? In the Epic of Ishtar, dated around 2400 BC, a pivotal moment in human history unfolds as the Anunnaki, divine beings, decide to transfer kingship from heaven to earth. Ishtar, granddaughter of Enlil, is entrusted with the task of selecting the first human king, an half-breed named Sharakin, later known as Sargon the Great. This momentous decision marks a shift in power dynamics, with Sargon appointed as the righteous king on earth, representing the god Enlil. It was the Lord of Earth, God Enlil, aka Yahweh, who closely examined Sharakin and said, "We searched, and she Inanna found it." Establishing his capital in Agade, later known as Akkad, Sargon's reign is characterized by unparalleled dominance, with no rival or opponent on the entire earth. However, a significant turning point occurs when Sargon shifts his allegiance from Yahweh Enlil to Inanna Ishtar, driven by the seductive allure and cunning persuasion of the goddess. This change of allegiance was considered impossible even by Anunnakis, to defy the authority of Enlil. In his autobiography, The legend of Sargon. Sargon credits Inanna Ishtar with orchestrating his military conquests, enabling him to subjugate all three regions of Earth, which is Egypt, Babylon, and Indus Valley regions. He asserted himself as the first emperor of the world. He describes himself as the servant of Inanna, a testament to the pivotal role played by the goddess in shaping his destiny and securing his legacy. In the annals of ancient Mesopotamian history, the saga of Sharakin, or Sargon the Great, and his grandson Naram-Sin unfolds as a testament to the delicate balance of power between gods and mortals. While Sharakin, or Sargon, was obedient to the divine decrees of the Anunnaki, especially Enlil, and refrained from transgressing into the forbidden fourth region that is today's Sinai Peninsula, known as the Land of Tilmon, or Land of Rockets, where the spaceport El Paran was located. That's right, folks. It is the same region, if you remember, which was defended by Abraham and his men by the order of Yahweh. Naram-Sin, grandson of Sharakin, proved to be less obedient to the divine will of Anunnakis. Under the guidance of Inanna Ishtar, Naram-Sin boldly marched into the forbidden territory, defying the authority of Yahweh Enlil. He conquered a city called Jericho. This event is marked by the depiction of the eight-pointed star on the walls of Jericho, representing the planet Venus, symbolizing Inanna. This was a brazen display of his defiance by a mortal in face of gods. He established Inanna Ishtar as the supreme deity and queen of all four regions on Earth. That is Egypt, Mesopotamia, Babylon, Indus Valley, and Sinai Peninsula. This unprecedented feat, achieved under the guidance and sheer will of the goddess Ishtar, challenged the authority of the male Anunnaki members like Enlil and Enki, who had never envisioned such a bold assertion of power. But Inanna Ishtar proved all of them wrong. The ancient text known as the Queen of all the Mies attests to Inanna's deliberate defiance of the divine order, acknowledging herself as the great Queen of Queens, surpassing even the mother who gave birth to her. This declaration of supremacy and sovereignty over the heavens and earth marks a pivotal moment in Mesopotamian mythology. Inanna's audacious declaration of her divinity and queenship represents a bold challenge to the established order, demonstrating her unwavering determination to carve out her own destiny and assert her rightful place among the pantheon of 12 gods. As the population of the world burgeoned, the gods found themselves increasingly overwhelmed by the complexities of managing their dominions. Beyond the external threats posed by rival deities, they grappled with the incessant squabbles and power struggles among mortals. The tedious task of appointing and safeguarding mortal kings only added to their burden. Faced with this predicament, the gods devised a cunning solution: religion. Religion emerged as a sophisticated mechanism of control, effectively corralling humanity under the banner of divine authority. Each god became the figurehead of their own religion, wielding absolute power over their followers. Through a meticulously crafted set of rules and regulations, religion served as a mental prison, binding the minds of mortals to the will of their divine overlords. Under this system, adherence to a specific god and their prescribed religion became synonymous with membership in a unified collective. Those who followed the dictates of a particular deity were integrated into a cohesive community, irrespective of geographic or cultural differences. Similarly, nations that adopted the same religion became part of a larger, interconnected superstructure, further consolidating the gods' dominion over vast swathes of territory. The implementation of religion afforded the gods unprecedented control over humanity, transforming them from mere overseers into absolute rulers. By harnessing the power of belief and indoctrination, they wielded influence not only over individual mortals but also over entire civilizations. Religion became the ultimate tool of governance, enabling the gods to exercise dominion over the hearts, minds, and territories of mortals on a scale previously unimaginable. In this way, the invention of religion marked a pivotal moment in the history of divine intervention, ushering in an era of unparalleled control and influence for the gods. Through the imposition of religious doctrine and the consolidation of believers into cohesive communities, they succeeded in extending their dominion over humanity to an unprecedented degree, forever altering the course of civilization. Why make it when you can steal it? Upon learning of the creation of a super-intelligent weapon unleashed by her esteemed grandfather God Enlil and God Enki, Inanna's ambition ignited like a flame in the darkness. She refused to be sidelined in the divine machinations unfolding around her. As the granddaughter of Enlil, she felt entitled to a place of prominence among the pantheon of gods on earth. Inanna yearned for more than mere observation from the sidelines. She craved active participation in shaping the destiny of humanity. The prospect of wielding such power was intoxicating, and she resolved to carve out her own domain, her own religion, her own place in the annals of history. Driven by her insatiable ambition and determination, Inanna embarked on a quest to establish herself as a formidable force among the divine hierarchy. She envisioned a religion that bore her name, one that would unite mortals under her banner and cement her authority over their hearts and minds. With the cunning of a strategist and the tenacity of a warrior, Inanna plotted her ascent to greatness. She marshaled her divine resources, leveraging her familial ties and charismatic charm to garner followers and disciples. Her vision was clear: to create a religion that not only worshipped her as a goddess, but also revered her as a guiding light, a beacon of hope in a world fraught with uncertainty. Inanna's quest for her own religion was not merely a quest for power, it was a quest for recognition, validation, and legacy. She refused to be overshadowed by her predecessors or relegated to a supporting role. With each calculated move and strategic maneuver, she edged closer to her goal, determined to carve out her own place among the gods on earth. In her relentless pursuit of power, Inanna hijacked and replaced the image of the main character Jesus Christ with her own image of her fiancé Dumuzi, further cementing her influence and dominance over the religious landscape. We present our findings. We see some incongruity in Christianity, Islam, and Hinduism. We list our findings on each religion. Firstly, we shall see on how Inanna accomplished this feat with some historical data and leave it to your judgment. You have every right to discard it, lock, stock, and barrel, but before you do so, be fair and do some research on the same and see where we went wrong. The incongruity between traditional depictions of Jesus Christ and the findings of forensic anthropology is striking. For centuries, Western art and popular culture have portrayed Jesus as a fair-skinned, blue-eyed figure, often with flowing blonde hair, a depiction that lacks biblical foundation. However, the forensic reconstruction based on the analysis of skulls from the vicinity of Jerusalem presents a different image, one more reflective of the likely appearance of individuals living in that region during Jesus' time. Forensic anthropology carried out by the British medical artist Richard Neve, with assistance from Israeli archaeologists and his research team, acquired skulls from near Jerusalem, the region where Jesus lived and preached. He used a field of science called forensic anthropology to determine Jesus's face, a method which is largely used to solve crimes. And with special computer programs, then evaluated reams of information about the measurements of the thickness of soft tissue at key areas on human faces, which made possible to recreate the muscles and skin, overlaying a representative Semite skull. This is face they came up with. This incongruity raises questions about the accuracy of cultural representations versus historical reality. The absence of any physical description of Jesus in the Bible leaves room for interpretation, yet the disparity between traditional imagery and scientific analysis underscores the influence of cultural biases and artistic conventions. The forensic reconstruction challenges preconceived notions and prompts a reevaluation of our collective understanding of Jesus' appearance. It serves as a reminder of the importance of evidence-based inquiry and the need to critically examine long-held beliefs in light of new discoveries. Ultimately, the incongruity between traditional depictions and forensic findings highlights the complexity of historical interpretation and the enduring impact of cultural perceptions on our understanding of religious figures. The notion that the person depicted on the cross may not be the original Jesus Christ, but rather someone else is a provocative hypothesis that finds support in ancient Sumerian clay tablets. These tablets, dating back thousands of years, contain records of significant historical events and figures, shedding light on ancient civilizations and their beliefs. One compelling piece of evidence comes from the discovery of a tablet detailing the existence of a figure known as Tammuz. Tammuz was a deity worshipped by the ancient Sumerians and was associated with fertility, agriculture, rebirth, and was god of sheep. Jesus was a son of carpenter. Why is he always portrayed with a sheep and not with tools of a carpenter? Interestingly, parallels can be drawn between the story of Tammuz and the narrative of Jesus Christ, including aspects of death and resurrection. Furthermore, ancient texts describe rituals and ceremonies dedicated to Tammuz, some of which involve symbolic acts resembling crucifixion followed by his resurrection. These accounts raise the possibility that the crucifixion and resurrection depicted in Christian tradition may have roots in earlier Sumerian beliefs and practices. Moreover, discrepancies between the characteristics attributed to Jesus in traditional depictions and the likely appearance based on forensic analysis further fuel speculation. Could it be that the person crucified was indeed Tammuz or another historical figure whose story became intertwined with that of Jesus over time? By examining ancient historical records and drawing parallels with biblical narratives, we may uncover new insights into the complex tapestry of religious beliefs and cultural influences throughout history. Rome's Pope calls himself the Vicar of Christ, meaning one and only true representative of Christ on earth. In the church he heads, he claims to be the one true church and the bride of Christ. He says this Christ bride, whose hope is to join her bridegroom in heaven. Note, not wife, mind you, but bride. This bride, he so cryptically mentions, must be Inanna Ishtar, who was the bride of Jesus on the cross, who is none other than Dumuzi Tammuz. What we deduce from such a statement is, the Pope is Jesus Christ, and Church is the bride of Christ, and they together rule Christianity and hope to rejoin each other or will come together in union as a couple in heaven, meaning one of them is dead. Union only possible if the other person also dies and goes to heaven. Romance is still at play. Now let's shift our focus to the woman on the beast. Still, the woman, so vividly portrayed by John, cannot be dismissed so easily. There she is. 2 of the final chapters in the Bible are devoted to her. What will we do with her? It would be dishonest to ignore such an important prophetic figure. The entire Bible is God's Word. We have no more right to close our eyes to Revelation 17 and 18 than to John 3 verse 16. Unquestionably, the woman is the central figure in these 2 important chapters, a major player in the drama of the last days. John gives far more attention to her than to the beast she rides. And the fact that she rides the beast of such importance that it literally holds the central position in Bible prophecy demands our special attention. It could not be clearer that the secret of this woman's identity and the role she will play is a major key to understanding biblical prophecies concerning the reign of the Antichrist and events leading up to Christ's second coming. The word Antichrist or pseudo-Christ is a very interesting term, only used by John and no one else in the Bible. He does not use it to describe a person but to make a point. Word anti stems from a Greek word meaning opposed to or against. Word pseudo stems from Greek word pseuds meaning fake or in place of original. So Antichrist, what John says, is someone who is false in place of, or one who replaced the original. Inanna has replaced the original Christ to her fiancé Dumuzi, so that her vision of him being exalted as God of a kingdom becomes reality, so that Dumuzi would be worshipped as God to posterity by humans and she would be the queen of that kingdom. She is the true power behind Christianity. Do you remember her saying? Subdue the rebellious country, let the nation multiply. I will direct the country rightly. Yahweh in Genesis 3 verse 15 has called this Antichrist as the seed of a serpent. There is only one serpent in history. He and Yahweh have been enemies from day one. He is none other than Enki, also called Nachash or serpent. It is same person portrayed as serpent in the story of Adam and Eve. It was Lord Enki who gave mankind intelligence and power to mate. Indeed, when Dumuzi died, Inanna ordered that his body be put to rest upon a stone of lapis lazuli to be kept in a special shrine. She named that shrine Emash, meaning house temple of the serpent. It was perhaps more than symbolic gesture of the placing the dead son of Enki in his father's hands. For Enki is the only Nachash or serpent god. Jesus Christ is called the Son of God. And Yahweh also claims that the Antichrist is the seed of the serpent. Seed meaning offspring. Son of God. Did you ever ponder what it meant? Enki is the one and only true God. It is he who created humans. And Dumuzi was his son. So Jesus on the cross, who is Dumuzi, is the true Son of God. Like any other kingdom, it has to be reinforced and protected by military force, like what Knights Templars did during early days of Christianity. How does she plan to protect Christianity? The answer can be decoded from ancient texts. It is recorded in the chronicle, The Curse of Agade, when Inanna transgressed the authority of Enlil and Enki. Her capital city Agade was cursed by the gods, reduced to rubble and left to desolation. She herself escaped to rest and persecution by escaping to the land of God Nergal. And after some time she abandoned her capital cities Erech and Arapa, and went and settled in the north, where she found a language spoken by people amusing. That language we deduce from our research is French. She comes out as a hardcore romantic and sentimental person, while at the same time on the flip side, she is schizophrenic and true explorer into the realms of psychosis. French is called language of love, Paris called city of love, and so on. It was the French who gifted the Statue of Liberty to America, a replica of which still stands in Paris today. A lot of case study have been conducted on the statue. Who and what does it represent? And its uncanny resemblance to the ancient Persian sun god Mitra. Inanna had a sibling. They were twins. Whenever and wherever in any ancient literature they were mentioned, they were always mentioned together and never apart. They had different names under different ancient literatures. Utu and Ishtar in Sumerian, Shamash and Inanna in Akkadian, Mitra and Anahita in ancient Persian, Baal and Anat and so on. This twin brother Shamash or Mitra faced and fought bravely in single-hand combat all the enemies of his brother Ninurta, but was tragically killed and died a warrior's death when he faced his most fierce opponent, God Mot, who was none other than God Nergal. It was Inanna who avenged her brother's death and killed God Mot in single-hand combat. Close observation of the Statue of Liberty depicts masculine features such as hands, legs, and muscular neck, dressed as a man, but has a face of woman, and well-concealed breasts. We deduce this as androgynous figure. It is clearly seen that this is a statue of ancient god Mitra, the sun god. The brother of Inanna, Ishtar, who was named Shamash in Akkadian literature, was also attributed to sun god. We find the same evidence in the ancient Persian literature where god Mitra was worshipped as having both male and female features. What the statue represents is both the twins in one figure. That is Mitra or Baal and his sister Anat or Inanna. In American, land of Mitra or Baal, her beloved brother is no more. She is taken in charge and vowed to continue by keeping the legacy of her beloved brother Shamash the sun god going, and thrive to make that country as one of the powerful nations on earth, just like what she has done to her beloved fiancé Dumuzi by making him a god. When Baal died, nobody except his father, El, grieved. Rest of Anunnaki members were going on their lives as normal. Same happened when her fiancé Dumuzi died. Nobody except Enki grieved. Each one of the Anunnaki members were selfishly interested in safeguarding and establishing their own legacy among gods. These two Anunnaki men, Baal and Dumuzi, who were the most nearest and dearest to Inanna heart, would have been forgotten in history, and their territories' rightful place among gods would have been slurped by others. She decided otherwise. She is also called the Lady of the Largest Heart by her poets. Inanna is also the creator of third gender. In the book, The Sacred Marriages, the divine, human sexual metaphor from Sumer to early Christianity by Martti Nissanen and Risto Euro, they describe Inanna, Ishtar as liminal figure, ambiguous, marginal, and androgynous. Her followers were three groups of cultic functionaries, Kurguruas, Asinis, and Kuluas. They were born as men hermaphrodites, but their appearance was totally feminine, or they had both male and female characteristics. She was the first to introduce male prostitutes in her temple in Eker. She is called the divine shapeshifter. She is also a great believer in resurrection. Because she herself was brought alive from the dead, she almost died or really died and lived again. It is recorded in the ancient poem called Inanna Descent to the Lower World by Enheduanna, the great poet priestess of Uar. Inanna believes she can do the same with the two most important men in her life, first her brother and second her fiancé. She is also called Ashtoreth, Lady of the Battlefield. Today her seat of power is in Europe or Rome, and her military strength and power is in America, today ruled by the descendants of god Baal or Mitra. Going back further in time, we gather evidence. First temple of King Anu of planet Nibiru, father of Yahweh, in city called Uruk, the biblical Erech, was called White Temple and was built on a raised platform. Inanna's brother Utu Shamash, aka Baal, aka Mitra. He was attributed to sun god. His temple in Sapar is called Ebaber, meaning house of brightness, bright house or white house. Ishtar, her own ziggurat temple in the city of Zabalam, was called House Full of Brightness, or Pure Mountain. The seat of power in America is held the White House and is built on Capitol Hill. King Anu of Nibiru and his descendants, Raitia's grandson and granddaughter, all live in the White House built on a raised platform. At Leo Nebula, where audacious statements are our trademark, we confidently assert the following. Inanna, the ancient deity whose influence shaped civilizations, lives among us in Europe. She is alive. Born on Earth and venturing once to her ancestral planet Nibiru, she witnessed the Great Flood over 10,000 years ago in her late teens. Anunnaki, aging approximately every 3,600 to 3,700 years, ensure their lineage endures. Moreover, we boldly proclaim that descendants of major Anunnaki gods inhabit various corners of our globe, seamlessly integrating into society while clandestinely wielding power from behind the scenes. Indeed, the world's paramount seats of influence remain under their discrete control. In our exploration of ancient mythologies, a striking parallel emerges between the Sumerian goddess Inanna and the Indian deity Kali. Both figures are depicted seated upon a beast, holding a cup filled with blood, symbolizing their fascination and obsession with this crimson fluid. Inanna's fixation with blood, whether menstrual or the blood of her enemies, dates back millennia, evoking questions about the origins and significance of this symbolism. Known by various names, including Ishtar, Inanna's association with blood is deeply ingrained in Sumerian culture. The inner sanctum of her temple, the Jipuru, served as a women's secluded section where rituals involving blood were performed. During new moon celebrations, the Sumerians held processions in honor of Inanna, sprinkling drops of blood and pouring the red liquid onto her dais, highlighting the sacred nature of blood within her worship. Identical rituals involving menstrual or regular blood has been described in detail in the book called Tantric Goddess, which is dedicated to goddess Kali. The myth of Inanna's encounter with Sukhail Tuda further reinforces this association with blood. When the young man violated her without her knowledge, it symbolized a breach of her sacred space, invoking the taboo surrounding menstrual blood. Similarly, in Indian mythology, Kali is renowned for her fierce demeanor and association with bloodshed. She is often depicted wielding a cup filled with the blood of her enemies, symbolizing her role as a warrior goddess and her unyielding determination to vanquish evil forces. Both Inanna and Kali are renowned to be fighters, and the most important link is that both are very closely associated with Shiva Enki. As we delve deeper into the complexities of ancient mythologies, the parallels between Inanna and Kali offer valuable insights into the shared cultural and symbolic heritage of humanity. Let us now delve into the incongruities present in the Holy Book, the Quran, and explore whether the facts mentioned therein have any connections to the ancient past, long before the founding of Islam. Our intention is not to impose our findings, but rather to stimulate your curiosity and encourage you to seek answers. Often, humans praise these books without thoroughly examining their greatness. It is time to question and scrutinize their content with a critical eye. In the book of Genesis, Old Testament, lies the story of Sarah, a woman whose journey traverses the peaks of hope in the depths of despair. At an age where the whisper of motherhood should have been a distant memory, Sarah found herself grappling with a desire as fierce as it was improbable to bear a child, an heir, for her beloved husband Abraham. But time, that relentless master, had etched lines upon Sarah's face and whispered doubts into her heart. She could not believe that her aging womb could harbor the promise of new life. And so, in a moment of desperation and despair, she made a decision that would alter the course of her family's destiny. With a heavy heart and trembling hands, Sarah turned to her maid Hagar, offering her to Abraham as a surrogate mother. It was a choice born of anguish and driven by a longing for legacy, for she believed that only through Hagar could Abraham find the heir he so desperately desired. And so it was that Hagar bore a son, Ishmael, the firstborn and sole heir to the clan of Abraham. Yet, just as the sun began to rise on their newfound hope, fate dealt a cruel blow. In a twist of divine irony, Sarah, at the age of 90, conceived and bore a son of her own, Isaac, the child of promise. With Isaac's birth came the dawning realization of Sarah's folly, her short-sightedness laid bare in the harsh light of reality. Consumed by jealousy and fear, she cast Hagar and Ishmael into the unforgiving wilderness, condemning them to a fate of exile and despair. In the shadow of Sarah's betrayal stood Abraham, a man whose faith had once moved mountains and earned the favor of the Almighty Yahweh. Yet, in the face of his wife's cruelty, he remained silent, his inaction a damning testament to the depths of his own hypocrisy. And so, the great patriarch, revered by generations as a paragon of virtue, stood as a witness to the injustice wrought by his own hand. His faithfulness, once a source of admiration, now stained by the tears of a mother and the cries of an abandoned child, his very own son. In the arid expanse of the desert, where the scorching sun beat down upon the parched earth, Hagar, cast out by her mistress Sarah, wandered aimlessly, her heart heavy with despair. Alone and abandoned, with naught but her infant son Ishmael cradled in her arms, she wept bitter tears of anguish, her soul weighed down by the crushing burden of her circumstances. Yet, in the midst of her despair, a glimmer of hope appeared on the horizon, heralded by the gentle rustle of wings and the soft murmur of celestial voices. From amidst the swirling sands emerged an angel, radiant and resplendent, his presence a beacon of divine grace in the desolate wilderness. With tender compassion in his eyes, the angel approached Hagar, his voice a soothing balm to her wounded spirit. "Fear not, Hagar, for the Lord has heard the cry of your son," he spoke, his words carrying the assurance of divine providence. "Arise, lift up the boy, and hold him fast with your hand, for I will make him into a great nation." In those precious moments, as the angel spoke words of comfort and promise, Hagar felt a surge of hope welling up within her weary heart. She gazed up at the celestial messenger with awe and gratitude, her faith renewed by the knowledge that she and her son were not forsaken, but cherished by the Almighty. Emboldened by the angel's words, Hagar gathered her strength and lifted Ishmael high, cradling him close to her breast with a fierce determination born of maternal love. With each step forward, guided by the hand of divine providence, she embarked on a journey of resilience and redemption, her faith unwavering in the face of adversity. As the angel faded into the shimmering heat of the desert, his message of hope echoed in Hagar's heart, a testament to the boundless mercy and compassion of the one who watches over all his children. And though her path may be fraught with trials and tribulations, Hagar walked forward with a newfound sense of purpose, her spirit buoyed by the knowledge that she was not alone, but sheltered beneath the wings of angels. We deduce the name of the angel was Gabriel, which is carefully concealed in Bible. The God who sent him was Enki, which was carefully concealed in Bible and commonly referred as God. The word Ishmael means God has heard. I will make him a great nation means Ishmael will be the head of a great religious movement, a nation called Islam. Oh, you throw up your hands. Why and how did we come with this outrageous, unthinkable thought yet again? In the annals of ancient history, etched in Sumerian clay tablets is an event that happened. Amidst the celestial realms of planet Nibiru, a tale of love, sacrifice, and betrayal unfolds, casting a poignant shadow over the hallowed halls of power. At its heart lies the story of Queen Antu, a woman whose love for her husband King Anu transcended the bounds of tradition and duty. In a kingdom where the succession of the throne held paramount importance, King Anu and Queen Antu found themselves ensnared in the agonizing grip of childlessness. Eons passed, their hopes fading like whispers in the wind, until Queen Antu made a fateful decision born of desperation and longing. With a heavy heart and trembling hands, Queen Antu chose to surrogate a child for King Anu through one of her servants. In a stroke of divine providence, a son was born, the firstborn and sole heir to the throne of Nibiru. This first son born of concubine was none other than Lord Enki. Yet, fate's capricious hand soon revealed its cruel twist. For after a while, Queen Antu herself bore a son. With a mother's love burning fiercely in her heart, Queen Antu resolved to secure the throne for her beloved son, determined to defy the rigid constraints of tradition and birthright. It was a birthright of the firstborn son to inherit the throne of his father. That is, it was the birthright of Lord Enki to follow his father to the throne. And so it was that Queen Antu, with steely resolve and unwavering determination, orchestrated a daring coup of the heart, altering the very fabric of destiny to ensure Enki's ascension to the throne, was averted and made it almost illegal according to the laws of succession. In a realm where power and privilege reigned supreme, her actions stood as a testament to the boundless depths of hypocrisy a person can go to serve themselves. She made her own son the second-born as the legal heir to the throne. Yet, amidst the triumph of Queen Antu's cunning, a shadow fell upon the bond between father and son. King Anu, duty-bound by the laws of succession, turned a blind eye to the injustice perpetrated against his own flesh and blood, his son Enki. In his silence, he betrayed not only his son but the sacred trust bestowed upon him as king. In the echoing halls of Nibiru, where whispers of treachery and longing lingered like ghosts of the past, the legacy of innocent concubine and her child, who was first son of the king, endured. Their story, a testament to the enduring power of love and sacrifice, echoed through the annals of time, a beacon of hope in the darkness of betrayal. Despite the vast expanse of time and space that separates them, the stories of Sarah, Abraham, concubine Hagar, her son Ishmael, and that of King Anu, Queen Untu, Enki, and his mother resonate with uncanny parallels, illuminating the timeless themes of love, sacrifice, and betrayal. Fate, it seems, is undeterred in its flow, be it anywhere in the universe. Time and space cannot hold its play. In both narratives, the desire for progeny serves as a catalyst for extraordinary actions. Sarah, like Queen Untu, yearns for a child to secure her husband's legacy and ensure the continuation of his lineage. Similarly, Queen Untu, faced with the anguish of childlessness, orchestrates a plan to surrogate a child for King Anu, mirroring Sarah's decision to offer Hagar to Abraham as a surrogate mother. The role of surrogacy and concubinage emerges as a common thread, with Hagar and the servant of Queen Untu serving as vessels through which the heirs are conceived. Both women bear sons who are designated as heirs to the throne, challenging the established norms of succession and birthright. Yet, as fate would have it, the arrival of a biological child disrupts the fragile equilibrium of power. In Sarah's case, the birth of Isaac casts a shadow over Ishmael's status as the firstborn, leading to Hagar and Ishmael's expulsion into the wilderness. Similarly, Queen Untu's biological son, Enlil, ascension to the throne was threatened by the firstborn son Enki, born of surrogacy. The characters' responses to these challenges reveal the complexities of human nature. King Anu and Abraham, bound by duty and tradition, acquiesce to the established laws of succession, sidelining their biological sons in favor of the designated heirs. Conversely, Queen Untu and Sarah, driven by maternal instinct and fierce love, defy convention to secure the future of their biological offspring, reshaping the destiny of their respective kingdoms in the process. Ultimately, both stories serve as cautionary tales, reminding us of the consequences of love and ambition intertwined with power and privilege. Through the lens of time and space, the echoes of Sarah, Abraham, and Hagar's journey reverberate alongside those of King Anu, Queen Untu, and Enki and his mother, bridging the divide between distant worlds and disparate eras to reveal the enduring truths of the human experience. History lays a narrative that transcends the boundaries of time and space, weaving together the threads of injustice, compassion, and redemption. At its core lies the tale of Enki, a figure whose journey from anguish to enlightenment forms the bedrock upon which Islam was founded. As the cosmic drama unfolded, Enki, a being of unparalleled wisdom and compassion, beheld with mounting fury the injustice perpetrated against Hagar and her son Ishmael. Witnessing the callous indifference of Enlil, the so-called Lord of Command, on earth, Enki's righteous anger burned bright, fueled by memories of his own suffering at the hands of his father King Anu on their distant planet Nibiru. In the echoes of his own past, Enki saw reflected the pain and betrayal endured by Hagar and Ishmael, cast out into the wilderness by the whims of power and privilege. Determined to break the cycle of oppression and injustice, Enki resolved to intervene, to offer solace and hope to those cast aside by the machinations of fate. And so it was that Enki, moved by a sense of duty and compassion, sent forth the angel Gabriel to deliver a message of divine promise to Hagar. With words of comfort and reassurance, Gabriel proclaimed that Ishmael would be made into a great nation, a nation called Islam. His name a testament to the belief that God had heard the cries of the oppressed. His very name, Ishmael, translates and means, God has heard. Lord Enki heard the cry of injustice done to them. For Enki, this act of intervention was more than a mere gesture of kindness. It was a defiant declaration against the forces of tyranny and oppression that sought to crush the spirit of the downtrodden. In Ishmael, Enki saw not just a child cast aside, but a beacon of hope for a future free from the shackles of injustice. Indeed, it was Enki's own experience of betrayal and abandonment that fueled his resolve to found Islam. In the teachings of Islam, Enki found a path of righteousness and justice, a faith that upheld the dignity and worth of every human soul, regardless of their station in life. In the annals of history, the story of Enki and the founding of Islam stand as a testament to the transformative power of compassion and empathy. Through his actions, Enki not only offered solace to the oppressed, but forged a legacy of resistance against the forces of tyranny and injustice that continue to plague humanity to this day. The divine being worshipped by Muslims worldwide. While Muslims vehemently reject the notion of ascribing human-like qualities or forms to Allah, their descriptions of him often paradoxically include anthropomorphic attributes. On one hand, Muslims assert that Allah is beyond human comprehension, transcending all human attributes and forms. Yet, on the other hand, they describe him as speaking, sitting on a throne, and possessing human-like features such as a face, hands, and eyes. This incongruity raises questions about the nature of Allah and the consistency of Islamic theology. The irony lies in the fact that by attributing speech, physical presence, and other human-like characteristics to Allah, Muslims inadvertently anthropomorphize him, contradicting their own assertions of his transcendence. This incongruity underscores the complexities inherent in attempting to articulate the nature of the divine. Furthermore, the very act of naming Allah raises philosophical dilemmas. By assigning a name to the divine, Muslims inadvertently ascribe a distinct identity and individuality to Allah, thereby setting him apart from other beings. This naming implies boundaries and limitations, which seem incongruous with the concept of an omnipotent and boundless deity. The question then arises, why name Allah at all? What purpose does it serve to assign a name to a being believed to be beyond human comprehension? These inquiries delve into the depths of Islamic theology and challenge believers to reconcile the apparent incongruities within their faith. In conclusion, the incongruity within Islam regarding the nature and attributes of Allah reflects the complexities inherent in attempting to understand the divine. Muslims grapple with the paradox of ascribing human-like qualities to a deity believed to transcend human understanding, highlighting the enigmatic nature of religious belief and theology. Between 500 to 450,000 years ago, a spacecraft clandestinely ascended from the planet Nibiru, unbeknownst to its inhabitants. Within its hull was a solitary figure, the former king of Nibiru named Alalu, seeking refuge from a coup intent on his demise and ousting from power. Fatefully guided, the craft journeyed through the vast expanse of the universe until it alighted upon Earth approximately 500,000 years ago. Alalu thus became the first Anunnaki to grace the soil of our planet. Upon learning of Alalu's arrival on Earth, the rulers of Nibiru, led by the new King Anu, reached an accord with him. Alalu would govern the outpost of Earth while Anu maintained dominion over Nibiru. However, Anu's treachery knew no bounds. During a wrestling rematch with Alalu, he broke his promise and emerged victorious, leading to Alalu's demise. In the wake of Alalu's passing, Earth's governance was divided between Anu's two sons, Enki and Enlil. Enki, whose title translates to Lord of Earth, sought to rectify the injustices suffered by Alalu at the hands of his power-hungry father, King Anu. Thus, when Enki established Islam, he endeavored to rewrite Earth's history from its inception. Enki boldly proclaims Alalu as the greatest king and positions Muhammad as his messenger, aiming to immortalize Alalu's legacy. Moreover, Enki seeks to honor his mother, Id, who endured the indignities inflicted upon her by Anu and his wife, Queen Antu. Enki elevates Id's name by designating it as the most auspicious day in Islam, symbolizing his reverence for her resilience and sacrifice. Through Islam, Enki endeavors to champion justice and rectify the wrongs perpetrated by those blinded by power and greed, perpetuating Alalu's memory for eternity. The complexities surrounding the Jerusalem landscape and its significance within the context of Christianity, Judaism, and Islam are deeply rooted in ancient narratives of power, control, and divine intervention. Amidst the religious squabbles over a piece of parched desert lies a deeper narrative, one that traces back to the annals of ancient history and the enigmatic presence of the Anunnaki. Jerusalem, often regarded as the epicenter of religious fervor and conflict, holds a pivotal role in the intricate web of theological discourse. However, beneath its surface lies a hidden truth, a truth that speaks to the ancient spaceport of the Anunnaki, known as Bab-Eli in Babylonian times. Bab-Eli translates to that which is directed toward Anu to launch. In our previous episodes, we have shown how giants under the leadership of god Marduk were about to launch an attack on Nibiru and its ruler Anu to secure the freedom for planet Earth. This spaceport, with its advanced scientific instruments and strategic significance, served as a conduit for communication and travel between Earth and the distant planet Nibiru. The significance of this spaceport was not lost on the divine entities of Anunnaki lore. According to ancient texts, Yahweh, the god of Judeo-Christian tradition, viewed the advancements of humanity at the Tower of Babel with suspicion and trepidation. Recognizing the potential threat posed by human ingenuity and ambition, Yahweh intervened, dispersing the people and thwarting their plans for cosmic exploration. Yet, the relocation of the spaceport to El Paran in the Sinai Peninsula did not escape the attention of rival factions within the Anunnaki hierarchy, as that too was attacked, as recorded in Genesis, where Abraham defended it from the enemies of Yahweh. Led by figures such as Enlil, Enki, and Inanna, these factions vied for control over the strategic assets buried beneath the bedrock in Al-Aqsa Mosque. For Enlil, the spaceport represented a potential threat to Nibiru and its inhabitants, prompting efforts to thwart any potential attacks and stop the independence movement by the Earthling from under the control of the throne and planet Nibiru. In contrast, figures like Enki sought to leverage the spaceport as a means of launching an offensive against Nibiru for the freedom of Earth from clutches of hierarchy of the throne, while Inanna sought to manipulate its power for her own ends. Use it as a power pawn to meet her needs. As the religious and geopolitical tensions surrounding Jerusalem continue to simmer, it is essential to recognize the underlying narratives that shape these conflicts. Beyond the surface-level disputes over land and religious doctrine lies a deeper struggle for control over ancient relics and sacred sites, a struggle that has its roots in the annals of ancient history and the enduring legacy of the Anunnaki. As we delve deeper into the mysteries of Jerusalem and its significance within the broader tapestry of human civilization, it becomes evident that the true implications of these conflicts extend far beyond the confines of earthly borders and religious dogma. The assertion that the woman on the beast in the biblical narrative is none other than Inanna Ishtar carries weight when one delves into the symbology and geopolitical dynamics at play. It's crucial to understand that the beast referred to here is none other than a human being. This concept is rooted in the ancient Sumerian tablets of creation, where the gods contemplated creating a worker being to aid them in their earthly tasks. Enki, the creator god, proposed that such a beast already existed in the wild, and by infusing it with their essence, it could bear their yoke. This beast eventually evolved into the modern human. Therefore, when we refer to the beast with 7 heads, we are essentially speaking of human beings from 7 different nations. Each head symbolizes a nation under the influence and control of Inanna Ishtar, representing the geopolitical landscape and the diverse cultures that make up the human civilization. The inscription Mystery Babylon on her head further solidifies the connection to ancient Babylon, the cradle of civilization and seat of power in Mesopotamia. Inanna's influence extends beyond mere mortal realms. It encompasses the spiritual, cultural, and political spheres, wielding immense power over the destinies of nations and peoples. The reference to one of the beast's heads bearing a death-defying wound, now healed, finds its parallel in the historical trajectory of Babylon, now Iraq. Despite past setbacks and conquests, this nation has risen from the ashes, reclaiming its position as a formidable player on the world stage. But what is Inanna's ultimate objective? The narrative points to her directing the beast, humanity, towards a specific target, Judaism. The enmity between Islam and Judaism, fueled by historical grievances and religious fervor, is set to erupt into a cataclysmic confrontation. This alignment of forces, as prophesied in biblical scripture, foretells a clash of civilizations with Israel at its epicenter. However, the question arises, why would Inanna, seemingly supportive of Israel through her influence in America, orchestrate such an assault? The answer lies in the ancient poem Inanna's Descent to the Lower World, where she was abandoned by her own family in her hour of need. This betrayal left an indelible mark on her psyche, driving her towards vengeance and retribution. In the final showdown between Judaism and Islam, Inanna's Christianity emerges as the triumphant force. By pitting these two factions against each other, she effectively eliminates her rivals, consolidating her power and influence. Rome and America, representing the bastions of Christianity, stand poised to reign supreme in the aftermath, with control over the sacred space center in Jerusalem, a strategic asset of immense significance. In essence, the assertive assertion regarding Inanna's role in the biblical narrative underscores the intricate interplay of religion, geopolitics, and ancient mythologies. It serves as a stark reminder of the enduring power struggles that shape human history and the profound consequences they entail. Ladies and gentlemen, today, I stand before you with a message that transcends borders and breaks through the barriers of conventional understanding. We find ourselves amidst a conflict that stretches far beyond the comprehension of ordinary men and women. It is a battle hidden from the eyes of humanity, yet its implications shape the destiny of our entire planet. The ancient city of Jerusalem, long revered and contested, is not merely a battleground for earthly powers. No, it is the epicenter of a war waged between celestial forces, the factions of the Anunnakis, and their human armies. For eons, this conflict has raged, claiming the lives of countless beings from various realms. And now, we, the latest recruits in this cosmic struggle, find ourselves thrust into the fray. We are the foot soldiers, the pawns in a game played by beings far beyond our understanding. Our fate hangs in the balance, contingent upon the outcome of this timeless war. But amidst the chaos and uncertainty, there lies a glimmer of hope. It is the belief, the unwavering conviction, that from Jerusalem will emerge the seeds of humanity's freedom. It is here, in this ancient city, that the first steps towards our independence from the dominion of Nibiru will be taken. Yet, let us not be deceived into passivity or complacency. The realization of this vision rests not in the hands of fate, but in our own. We hold the power to shape the course of history, to determine the fate of our planet and our species. Together, we must rise above the divisions that seek to tear us apart. We must unite in solidarity, standing firm in our resolve to forge a future where humanity dictates its own destiny. Let us seize this moment, this opportunity, to transcend the confines of our earthly limitations and strive towards a new dawn of freedom and self-determination. The time has come for us to reclaim our sovereignty, to break free from the shackles of oppression and forge a path towards a brighter tomorrow. Let us march forward with courage and conviction, knowing that the fate of our world lies in our hands. Thank you.